What is up, Sparkle Gang? It's your girl Rebecca, but you can call me Sparkle. Welcome back to another video with moi. Thanks for taking the time. Today I'm just gonna honestly be getting ready and we're just gonna be chit-chatting, a little makeup talk and about things that I'm feeling and my opinion. And Josiah is here, so when you hear him in the background, that's what's going on. But I'm going to just pin my hair to the side. I already did my skin prep, so I don't have to do that per se. But I need to, like I did my moisturizer and stuff, cleanser, all of that kind of stuff already. So I'm just going to start with, I'm probably just going to start with my brows. And we're going to get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to start with my brows. I'm going to start with the Benefit Brow 24-hour brow setter.
Mommy.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, we're not ready to show that yet.
Mommy.
Really quick before I get into that. One of the things that I like about this product is how it holds my brows in place. But there's a specific technique when you use this that I don't know if it's being discussed. So when you use the Benefit 24-hour brow setter, right, there's a double-sided brush. Okay, you see how there's two sides? There's like a long side and the short side, right? So when you use this product, you start with the long side and you want to rake it through, just kind of really getting the product evenly distributed all through your brows. I just kind of rub it all over the place like this with the big side because it's the big bristle, so it gets everything everywhere. And I do that on both sides and I let that sit for about a minute or two or whatever. Generally while that's sitting, then I'll just like prep my makeup a little bit more or something of that nature. So after you let it dry, then you take the small side and you literally go through and you just brush your brows wherever you want them to go. Sorry if you hear me breathing heavy. I was just running around with Josiah. But I also think I let these dry down too much. Not too much, but yeah, too much is the word. Because you're literally supposed to let it sit for a couple minutes. And I was literally running with him. Y'all, my stomach sounds like Jurassic Park over here. Okay. So, now that our brows are molded, let's get back into it. I have a couple things I want to talk about today. I think one of the things, okay, the overarching thing that I'm going to be talking about is just like in the, what's going on in the creator space, or like, yeah, let me just say creator, because I feel like, hold on, I need some water. Okay, I feel like being in the creative space, so just to give a little context, if like you didn't know already, I worked at Sephora for about 6 years. And in that 6 years, I learned a lot, like a lot. I'm using the ABH brow pen in dark brown, and I'm just going to go in and create hairs with my whatever. I learned a lot, and a lot of what can be applied to what I'm doing right now, a lot of what will be applied to my future and my interests. Like, all in all, I loved working at Sephora. Like, I did. I enjoyed my time spent there. Like I said, I learned so much. I met some really freaking amazing people. And it was just all around a great experience. I like to press when I do the strokes, I like to press it after I'm done so that it gives it a more like skin-like look, I guess. Do you see the difference? Boom. You know, and I definitely can say being in the beauty world itself and then transitioning into like creative world with beauty experience or like the beauty background or whatever, it's definitely a transition. And unfortunately, there's no real way to prepare yourself for it. Because in the creator space, you're creative. But there's also a certain, I feel like in the creator space, there's a lot more that's allowed. Like it's not as rigid, it's not as hardcore. But when you're in the beauty space, like strictly like not so much camera and not so much social media and stuff like that, but you're actually on the scenes doing makeup, engaging with clients, and you know, like that kind of thing. Those are two different worlds that shouldn't be separate but then there are parts of it that should be separate, if that makes sense. One thing that I despise about the creator world is like there's no gatekeeping. Like nobody gatekeeps it. So anybody can create necessarily. And the only reason that that's problematic is because not all people have the knowledge to create the things that they want to. Like one of the things that I don't enjoy about the beauty space sometimes is people giving advice for stuff that's just not. This is the Kosas eyebrow pencil. It's called the Dual Action Defining Pencil. And I got the number 5, I believe. The darkest one is the one that I got. In hindsight, I could have gone a shade lighter, but I'm an artist, so does it really matter? You know, like that's one of the things that I just really don't enjoy is just kind of like anybody can infiltrate for real. Like anybody can come in, anybody can say this or, you know, and then obviously sometimes there are people there to fact check. Sometimes there aren't people there to fact check. Like, one thing I can say about Sephora is at the time when I went there, because I don't know, and if you're watching this and you used to work at Sephora or like you worked there for a long time or you, like if you're an older Sephora employee, I feel like the climate there is changing in terms of employees. So I don't know if they even really get into the education. Sorry. I don't even know if they really get into the education of it. You know what I mean? Like how they used to. I don't know, because the times that I go in there and shop, the experience isn't there anymore. And I don't know if that got taken away because of COVID. Like they just said, you know, we're not going to put too much into the experience of beauty when you're shopping. Whatever the case, is different. But either way, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Concealer, shade 420. It's the perfect match every time. Get you some Fenty concealer, period. But it's just different now. Like, I really prided myself on giving my clients an experience when they would come and shop or like when they would get their makeup done and stuff like that. Like, I really did. I enjoyed that. I loved all of it. Also, like, makeup is my passion. Like, that whole thing. Like, I love all of that kind of stuff. That was another thing I loved about Sephora is you weren't confined to just makeup. And I think that's why I'm so universal, multi-purpose. I don't know. I think that's why I am, because at Sephora, so we had these things like worlds. They were called worlds. There was color, there was skin, there was hair, there was fragrance. And at a point in time, there was nails. I worked in color. So color was literally complexion, eyeshadow, eyebrows, lips, contour, lashes. Like that was all color stuff. Like the actual makeup, like the face makeup. And then you had skin, which is obviously skincare, fragrance, you know, so there's a lot of different stuff going on in there. But they were kind of changing that around too when I was leaving, and that's another reason why I was just kind of like they were changing that up. But saying all that to say, I learned a lot. They exposed me to a lot. I got to engage with a lot of people, meet different types of clients. I really just got to spread myself. And like that was one thing that I really loved about that place. Which brings me back to my next point, because I was just rambling. There's no training. Nobody's training the girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just like jumping out here and trying to give advice on stuff that they really don't know about. And then it's like spreading misinformation and just making it unsafe, to be honest. And then moving back into the whole creator space thing, right? My issue with that is being a creative is not, I mean, you can learn it. You can learn it. You definitely can. But it's an art. Like, there's an art to being a creative. Like, and I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about that. The problem that I'm having is that social media is just making it seem like content creators and influencers, one, content creators and influencers are not the same thing. Not the same thing. And I might have to get into that in another video. But they're not the same thing. Anyway, but people try to make it seem like, oh, being a content creator is such a luxury, it's such a easy job. No, the heck it is not. I promise you, by the time the content hits the internet, you've already done 30,000 things that led up to the actual production of the whole thing. And that's always missed. That's never talked about. So a lot of times people be getting on here and they be thinking like, oh, well, I'm a content creator. Like, if you can do it, I can too. Like, that's literally not how this works. One, I feel like it's a field that you still have to be passionate about, and not from a monetary standpoint. I feel like a lot of people look at certain creators who talk about how much money that they make and whatever, and that's the standard. Like, that's the narrative and that's the goal. Like, oh, let me be like this creator, or let me do this like XYZ, or you know what I'm saying? Or somebody's doing something that you're seeing and now you're intrigued and you want to do it too. Like, no, that's not what this is. I appreciate the interest, and I can say anybody can be made. Literally anybody. Being a content creator, like any other field, like, you need to be passionate about it. I'm tired of seeing people jump on here and be like, oh my God, I ran up all these followers, so brands need to pay me. No. That is literally not how it works. That's literally not how it works. And I feel like sometimes some of y'all are so detached. Let me not say some of y'all. Some people are so detached from reality in terms of what it means to be a content creator or what it means to be an influencer. Just because you're relatable does not mean you're influential. Like, just because I can relate to you does not mean I'm going to come to you and be like, hey, what would you do in XYZ situation? Or can you help me with this, or that? Like, it never gave that. And I get so, like, annoyed when I see people who think that that's the temperature. Like, oh, well, people laugh at me and my engagement's high. Yeah, but when the brand goes and looks at your content, what are you contributing? What are you contributing? And I always like, and that's a question that I had to ask myself as well when I really was like, you know, hitting my point to say, okay, I'm going to go all the way, or I'm going to try to go no, I'm going all the way. I had to really kind of do my own reality check to ask myself, what are you contributing? You know, my space or my niche or whatever is like beauty, like makeup, skincare, hair, all of that kind of stuff. So I had to ask myself, like, what are you contributing? What are you doing that sets you apart from the next person, from the person that has something? Everybody can do makeup. Like, the beauty industry is oversaturated in every way. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing. And it's like, okay, beauty industry is oversaturated. So in your attempt to come here and make a mark, you have to be intentional. Like, you have to be intentional. You have to plan. You have to, and also you like have to want it. You have to want it more than anybody, you know, because at the end of the day, that's what's going to push your success. At the end of the day, when it's tough times and, you know, things aren't looking how you wanted them to look, where's your passion? You know, where's the passion that got you here? I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Primrose palette. This is the color Mango, and I'm just putting it all over my lid. When you apply shadow, you need to go in with a color on top of your lid that is like the same color as your lid. And this just helps to set your shadow so that it's not sliding off your face in an hour. Sidebar, I use the Fenty concealer and I color correct with it for like all over my face. So I go under my eyes and around my mouth area because that's where my hyperpigmentation is. But you can see, like, this is a flawless match every time. Every time. And people be in disbelief that I don't know what y'all be doing with Fenty, but she gets me every time. I love Fenty. I don't know about y'all, but I love me some Fenty. But you know, there's no nobody gatekeeps the things that they should in the beauty community, and that means that you need to speak to the validity of a lot of the stuff that these people be talking about, because it's inaccurate and it makes it harder sometimes. I'm just gonna put a little of this like burgundy here, just because we're supposed to wear neutrals. I don't even think I told y'all what I'm getting ready for. I am going to a bachelorette party for a wedding that I am in, so yeah, I'm just putting on some makeup for that. But I actually have to hurry up because I really only have like 20 minutes left. You know, to just kind of like tie back into what I'm saying, it frustrates me as a makeup artist to come into this space and, you know, just see people kind of remix it and misinform and just kind of say whatever they want to say. And there's really nobody that is gatekeeping. Like, there's no other way for me to say that. I'm gonna pop this gold on because gold's always cute. But we have to wear like tan colors anyway. So gold and tan always. Neutrals is what we have to wear. Applying your shimmer with your finger makes a world of a difference, okay? Because there's nothing like the warmth on your finger. Because it sparkles, you want essentially to pack it on your eyes. Like, you don't want it to be falling off. And the finger and the warmth, it just does something, you know? It does something for the girls. But no, this is like the secret to properly applying shimmer shadow. I really should have put on some glitter glue up underneath of it. But I kind of actually want my sparkliness to kind of fade out. I didn't really want to adhere it on my eyes. I don't know. Yeah, I might say I'm crazy for that, but whatever. That's the look I'm going for. But yeah, nobody gatekeeps. Nobody really fact checks. There's like, I think what I hate about this space as well is like there's no like standard, like there's no entry anything, there's no like prerequisite, or there's nobody to teach and inform and educate. I'm just gonna do a tight line. There's nobody to really teach and inform and work with those that actually want to be creators. I mean, you have managers, but most time your manager doesn't know your craft as much as they know your ability and like your talent. You know, like they're not necessarily going to be makeup artists, or they probably do the bare minimum when it comes to makeup. So it's not like you can rely on them to provide any source of education. So I feel like in this field, you have to really kind of make it your own. The onus is on you to further your knowledge and understanding and, you know, like that kind of thing. I guess I just don't enjoy that. I find it sometimes it's hard for me to take advice from someone or listen to what another person is saying, because I'm like, where's your credibility, or why should I believe you, or where'd you learn that from? You know, basic stuff, the basics. I'm using the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes mascara. I'm going to use the curl and length side. And I also hate putting on mascara just because I have like these skinny bony lashes that just disrespect me all the time and embarrass my whole life. Yeah, I don't know, it gets a little frustrating. And like I said, sometimes I feel like people log on and they see, oh my god, you made this video, or you did this, oh my god, your content was so great. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing that. And to be honest, like, that doesn't make me feel good. Like, I feel kind of offended. And I don't know, I could be projecting, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad that I make it look easy, but why do you think that because I did it, that you could do it with the same, I'm not even going to say ease, because it's not easy. It's just edited. That's it. It's not easy. It's edited. Like, you cut, you know, do what you need to do. You may be able to change audio, and it really just depends. I don't know. Maybe that's something I need to work on and like get over, because that really just bothers me when people have that like approach. Like, oh my god, yeah, I'm gonna do it too, or like they just don't take it seriously. And I feel like that's how anybody would feel about something they're passionate about, and other people like want to partake because you make it look a certain way, so now they want to be a part. Like, I'm so glad that you value what I do so much that you too want to do it. But just stop acting like it's about to be easy, because like it's far from that. Like, it never gave easy, I promise you. So I just be, you know, feeling some type of way about that whole thing. Like, I was watching somebody's video, and you know what, I feel like what I'm about to say is a little, it's controversial. It's definitely controversial how people view TikTok as this overnight success journey. And it's not that. Like, people really get on TikTok. People were really upset on TikTok when they were talking about delayed views, right? Now, what kind of annoys me about that kind of stuff, like people who really focus on the metrics so much, is if you were focused on your content, right? Like, don't get me wrong, views are nice and views are good. But if you're really focused on the content and really making your input about genuinely contributing and really trying to like break down barriers or whatever your contribution is going to be, it shouldn't be about, oh my god, you're not going to see my followers immediately, you're going to have to wait a couple hours. Like, it's still going to get seen. And then, you know what else, to be honest, good content is just that. It's good content. And if it's good, you don't need to use all them strategies and all of this and that and da 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 da, like, you know, like that kind of stuff. You really don't need that, because your content is going to get seen by who needs to see it. It's going to get pushed in the direction that it's supposed to get pushed. Like, that was another thing that I had to come to terms with about the whole, like, because if you really get into the strategy of social media, it takes the fun away if strategy isn't your interest. You know what I mean? Like, I know we have these big strategists and stuff like that. Like, that's their interest. Strategy, like, I'm not. You can be consistent, but the way that like these little social media tries to make it seem like, oh, do this and you'll blow up. Oh, do this and you'll blow up. Okay, you blew up. Now what? Now what? And that was one thing I had to ask myself, because I've gone viral once on TikTok. And even in my going viral then, I think there's something that you need to be prepared for when you go viral, right? Because when you get that level of traction, you have to now maintain that, you know? And then you just better hope that the video that went viral is your niche. Because if it's not, you don't retain those views. You may get some new followers, but they're going to be following you for the wrong reasons. They're going to follow you because, oh, you posted about kittens when you really post about motorcycles all day. And that's oftentimes like an issue as well. Okay, that's all I'm doing on my eyes, because I'm not gonna waste no more time on it. I'm done with the eyes. About to get into complexion. And you just like, you have to be ready for that kind of thing. You have to put yourself in a position where when you go viral, there's already something there for people to have. Like, there's already something there for them to look at, and there's already something there for them to just, oh, okay, well, they have more content. Oh, and the content is in line with the video that went viral. You know what I mean? I hate getting on TikTok and they're like, oh, I'm shadow banned. No, you're not. You're not shadow banned. Your content sucks. And people are tired of seeing the same thing over and over. That's not a shadow ban. You need to step your cookies up. And I think that's another thing, is like in this industry, it's very much, it's like a revolving door. It's ever changing. Like, there's always something new to learn. There's always something new to try. There's always going to be a trend, a hack, a tip, a trick. Like, there's always going to be those things, you know? And it's really important to, I guess, establish yourself and your own goals so that you don't get so caught up and focused on, okay, well, how can I do this trend right quick? You know, like, that's not to say, okay, don't do a couple here and there, but like, make it your own and whatnot. I'm using the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. I am speeding into this last phase of my face. Kind of annoyed because I definitely put concealer on already. Another thing about Milk Hydro Grip Primer, let it dry down for 60 seconds before you actually use it. Listen, okay? Like nothing you've ever seen before. I just hate that people are just kind of able to say and do whatever. And I hate that there's no like realization and people think that you're just supposed to be famous overnight. Like this makeup stuff, this beauty stuff, it's not no overnight. And if you're in it for the long haul, why do you want to blow up overnight? It's a journey. It's not just something you, oh, let me just go do this and run up the coin. So that's just always interesting to hear people like make those kind of remarks, like, oh my god, I need to blow up on social media. Social media is where I want to be, but have zero inclination of what that even looks like. It's a little bit frustrating. I'm about to use a Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter in the color 6.5. But yeah, like that's just, I don't know. I think what I'm really trying to say is I'm just tired of hearing people try to make light of being an influencer or try to make light of being a content creator. You know what I mean? Like, no. This is serious job. This is serious work. And guess what? If you don't know how to read a contract, it's going to read you. Every time. If you don't have someone on your team that can contribute to your success and that you trust, you're gonna not be out here getting paid. You're gonna not be out here getting the attention that you want from brands, and you're not gonna be rising to the top like you want to because you're not taking it seriously. You're just looking at a video that somebody posted that they probably recorded 2 months ago. Like, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a content creator. So please don't get that message from what I'm saying. What I am saying is I think that people need to stop making it seem like it's some just job that you're supposed to blow up and be rich in a year. Like, and then stop thinking it's easy, because if it was easy, wouldn't everybody be doing it? If being a content creator was so easy, don't you think more people would be doing it? And granted, there's a decent number, but not nearly as much as what wants to be doing, you know, like the amount of people that want to be doing it. I'm using the NARS foundation, the light reflecting one in Macau, which is medium deep 4, but it's not easy. It's fun if you want it to be, but like I could say the same thing about coding. Like, it's not easy, but if you want it to be fun and if you want to do it, then that's when it becomes like enjoyable. And that just tickles me because I just had to use that example because everybody's trying to break into tech these days, and half of these people didn't even take a stat class, which I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying, I'm using that again to say like people just jumping into stuff because they see, oh, so-and-so said this amount of money or that amount of money, and it's just all over the internet. Like, every time you turn around, break into tech, remote work, make 80K, and da-da-da-da, and you're not telling people the truth. You're not telling people the truth. You selling dreams, people throwing money into these little cert classes and all of this and all of that, and they're not seeing no outcome. Or they get in there and realize that this is actually complicated information. Like, yeah, it really is. I promise you. Here I'm using the Too Faced concealer in the color Honey. I go between butterscotch and honey. So today I'm doing honey. Elf Putty bronzer. I'm not gonna contour. Let's hope I don't contour. Just gonna warm the face up, you know, sculpt it up a little bit because I do need to get out the door. But yeah, that just frustrates me. I'm like, y'all are very unserious right now. Like, y'all not taking this serious. Y'all not seeing this as a real job, like a career path or someone's livelihood. And also, this is a luxurious job. It's not a job that's in demand. It's a luxury job. And I'm saying that to say, like, you don't just wake up and be like, yeah, I'm about to do this and I'm going to quit my job and do content full time. You're going to get evicted. Don't do that. Literally do not do that. One, you need to build yourself up, but do not quit your job and think that you're about to get a check next month. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody has done it. Of course. But that's just not the reality in a lot of situations. And I don't think that people should subject themselves to that kind of thing. Like, by all means, start out with a regular job and do the work, you know, so that you can get up to where you're, okay, I'm getting paid or I'm getting enough and to sustain my life. I get so weirded out, y'all, when I get online and I see people say stuff like, yeah, I quit my full-time to become a content creator and I just need to pay my bills. Like, I bet you do, because this is not nothing that you quit your full-time job. Like, there's too many uncertainties for you to not be at a certain level before you quit your regular job to do this. It's just too many uncertainties, and nobody talks about that. And it's kind of funny when I see people talk about like, oh, I have X amount of followers, like I should be getting paid this amount of dollars. First of all, some of the followers be fake. Like, let's just call it ace of ace. They be fake. And I need y'all to free yourselves from those shackles, okay? Please. You're messing it up for the regulars. You're making people think that you can rise to stardom overnight, and you simply cannot. Like, that is not sustainable. That is not sustainable. You may get a lot of followers overnight, but that does not mean that brands are about to be beating down your door the next day like, oh yeah, we wanna pay you to do this and that. Like, you gotta work. You gotta work. Your mindset has to be there. The drive has to be there. The hustle gotta be there. Like, this is not no easy stuff. Yes, my concealer is very light, but I'm going for a very light under eye. Don't worry. Trust the process. It's just frustrating, you know, like, to just hear those kinds of things. And I just be wanting people to be realistic about stuff. And this is one of those spaces. Like, you're not about to blow up overnight. You're not about to... You want to build community. Like, you want to have a community. You want to have people that's going to rally behind you and that's going to support you and that's going to join your email list and join whatever other platform you get on. You know what I'm saying? Like, blowing up overnight is not loyalty. I want loyalty. I want people that's going to really ride with me the whole way. Like, from now until the end. Like, that's what I want. That's how you get the money. That's where the money is. It's not in these, oh, let me go viral, or let me do this, or let me do that. Like, no, just chill. Make your content. Make sure your heart is in it when you're making it. Be present in the moment. Go to therapy. And I very much mean go to therapy. Like, because this is also a place where you have to be very certain in yourself. You know, like, over the internet, people are rude. People are mean. And, like, the comment section is never nice. Like, never. I've literally gone under, like, people that have, like, you know, mental illness and stuff like that. And just seen some of the nastiest things. Like, bro, they literally can't control that. Like, comments are crazy. You got to be resilient. You got to be ready for those kinds of things. And those are things that I'm telling you this because I've told myself this. Like, you can't want to have brand deals and you're not nice. Like, I feel like a lot of times people just... I'm using the Pat McGrath blush. So beautiful. This is the Divine Blush, the Paradise Venus. That's the color it is. It's so beautiful and just like a beautiful nude. But yeah, like, y'all, not y'all. Let me stop saying y'all. I just use y'all as a universal. We talking. I'm not talking about y'all. We talking to each other. But yeah, like, this is just a very, to be honest, from my experience as a black woman, a black makeup artist, a black creator, all of that stuff. It's the dog-eat-dog world out here, okay? You really got to be on your game, you know? You really got to be on your stuff. It's not, no, this is not a force to be reckoned with. You gotta be on top. You gotta be ready, and you gotta be ready to hustle. You gotta be ready to hustle. If you're not ready to hustle, you ain't doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just what it boils down to, is like, get real with yourself. You know, ask yourself, like, what are my goals? Like, what do I want to contribute? What do I want to do? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to go? Like, those are very real questions to ask. I think that they're great questions to ask yourself. And they'll help you get to, is this for me? Is this not for me? Am I chasing after the look of things? You know, am I interested because, oh, my favorite influencer said this is how she became a six-figure so-and-so? Like, yeah, she gave you some ABC 1, 2, 3, but she did not tell you her way, you know? And then also, everybody's path is different. You know, just ask yourself those tough questions. I'm using the Rare Beauty Flaunt Liquid Luminizer. I love these things. Oh my God, I love them so much. You know, ask yourself those tough questions. I feel like you have to, you know, you have to ask yourself, like, what do I want to do? What do I want to be? Get your goals down. What's your goal? Like, stop thinking that this social media stuff is easy. It's not. It's freaking hard. Don't get me wrong, though. I love it. Like, I love it. I think every day I fall more and more in love with it. Just the art of it and just figuring things out and figuring out what I like and, you know, like that kind of thing. Ask yourself those questions. And that's not me saying, like, oh, don't do it if you don't want to. But I'm just tired of the whole, like, making light of it. This is nothing to make light of. It's not easy. It's fun. It is very glamorous in a lot of ways. But in a lot of ways, it's grit ball. It's hard. And you have to prepare yourself mentally for that. That's why I say go to therapy. Because there's going to be plenty of times when you question yourself. You're going to get depressed. And you're going to have to be able to pull yourself out of that. Social media will consume you if you allow it. And if you don't do that proper self-searching, soul searching before, you know, before it gets anywhere, you're never going to have a good time. You're never going to have a good experience. You may get to where you want to be, you know, but you may not enjoy the ride while getting there, you know, and who's to say you even stay there once you get there. I'm just doing the Huda Lash. And then I'm going to go in with a brown liner from Milk. Their Infinity eyeliner. I love brown liner on the bottom lid. Sorry if y'all can hear a lot of background noise. I don't know if you can or not, but yeah. And let me just tell y'all now, get used to noise in the background. You're going to hear noise. I got kids. I'm not one of those creators that just has time all day to sit uninterrupted and create and whatever. Like, I got to work within my schedule. And sometimes that's the kids, okay? Also, I love me some brown liner on my waterline. Like, that has been my new fave. I don't know what took me so long. I guess I thought it wouldn't show up. It's so subtle and so beautiful. I love it. I love brown liner on the waterline. Black too, but sometimes black is a little too intense for like a specific look I might be going for. See, look at that. Perfection. Every time. Every time. Also, I've tried to really get into the whole half lash thing, but I'm just not good at it. I don't know if it's because I have hooded eyes or what. I'm setting my face with the Sephora collection, the Micro Smooth powder that everybody and their mama needs to have. I don't care if you are a only concealer kind of person. Concealer and blush or whatever. You need this powder, okay? You need it. It's the bee's knees, period. Saying all that to say, what Erykah Badu say? I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. I am. I really am. I put a lot of heart in my content, a lot of thought. And I don't think that's to be taken for granted. And I don't think that's to be looked at as easy. I think that it's to be appreciated and respected. And, you know, it's not oh, you did it, let me do it too. Because one, you're not finna do it like Big Mama. You're just not. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just a thing. Like, you're just not gonna do it like me. Because why? I'm me. I am going to use the brown liner from Sephora, the Molasses, the Sephora collection liner. Y'all need to get these liners because I think they're like $12. And it's the perfect brown liner. It's literally the perfect brown liner. Then I'm finishing up with the YSL. This is, do I even know what color this is? This was actually a collab that was done. But I really can't remember who the collab was. And now I feel bad. I don't even know what, oh, it's the color 121. It's a cute little soft pink. Did my brown line. To be honest, I don't know if I love this combination because of my eyeshadow, but we gonna see. But anyway, I am done my face. Ooh, ooh, look at that hair. It's stunning, per usual. Thank you for coming to my Sparkle Talk. This is not a TED Talk, it's a Sparkle Talk, period. But thanks for coming to hang out. I know I was just rambling about stuff. I really just wanted to get on here and chat. Because I don't do that. And I also want to chat with y'all in the comments and just talk more and just connect more because I'm here to stay. But thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. So glad you took the time out to watch moi. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.